Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Daily English Podcast. I'm David, your host for today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emily, your co-host. We're so happy you're joining us for another episode. Thanks for tuning in.
Before we jump in, I have a question for you, Emily, and for our listeners too. Have you ever wondered if people today spend too much money on things they don't really need?
Oh, that is such a great question, David. Actually, I was just thinking about this last week when I saw a long line outside a new bubble tea shop in our neighborhood. People were lining up to pay $5 for a drink with little tapioca balls in it.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? Sometimes I look at my own spending and think, wait, did I really need that extra pair of headphones? Or all those online subscriptions I signed up for and forgot about?
I know exactly what you mean. It's so easy to buy things these days. One click and your package is on the way. But is all this spending really necessary?
That's what we're going to talk about today. Do people today spend too much on unnecessary things? We'll explore what counts as unnecessary, why we do it, and if it's always a bad thing.
We'll also share some stories, compare cultures, give you tips, and, of course, help you learn new English words and phrases along the way.
So whether you're walking to work, cooking dinner, or just relaxing, we hope you enjoy today's episode and learn something new.
Let's get started.
All right, Emily, before we get into the details, can I ask, what's the silliest thing you've ever bought?
Oh, wow. Okay, I'll be honest here. One time, I bought a tiny blender just to make smoothies at my desk at work. I only used it once and then I lost the charger. What about you?
Ha ha ha, that's pretty good. For me, it was an expensive fitness tracker. I thought it would motivate me to run every day. I wore it for a week, and then I forgot all about it. Now it just sits in a drawer.
That's so relatable. I think a lot of us buy things hoping they'll change our habits or make us happier. But sometimes, they just end up collecting dust.
Exactly, and that brings us to our main topic. So let's break it down. What do we mean when we talk about unnecessary things?
Good question. I think unnecessary things are items or services that we don't really need for our basic living, like food, shelter, or clothing. They're more like extras or things we want but could live without.
Right, like for example, the latest smartphone, designer shoes, or fancy coffee drinks. We might enjoy them, but they're not essential.
But here's something interesting. What's unnecessary for one person might be important for someone else. For example, I love collecting art supplies. To some people, that might seem wasteful, but to me, it's a source of joy.
That's a great point. It's all about perspective. I think in general, people today have more choices and more temptations than ever. The internet makes it so easy to buy things without thinking.
Yes, and advertising plays a big part too. We see ads everywhere, on our phones, on TV, even at the bus stop. They make us feel like we need things we never even thought about before.
Have you ever bought something just because you saw it in an ad?
Oh, definitely. I remember seeing a commercial for a hair product that promised to make my hair shiny and smooth. I bought it, but honestly, it didn't do much. I guess I fell for the clever marketing.
Me too. I once bought a pair of special socks that claimed to help with foot pain. They were expensive, but I couldn't tell the difference from regular socks.
It's so easy to get caught up in the moment, especially when you're tired or stressed. Shopping can feel like a quick way to make yourself feel better.
That's true. There is actually a term for that, retail therapy. It means shopping to improve your mood, even if you don't really need anything.
Retail therapy? I love that phrase. But sometimes it can lead to problems, like credit card debt or clutter in your home.
Yeah, and it can be hard to stop. Like, sometimes people buy things to impress others. Have you ever done that?
To be honest, yes. When I was in college, I bought a pair of brand name sneakers just because everyone else had them. I wanted to fit in, but they were really expensive and not that comfortable.
I get that. Peer pressure is real, especially with social media showing us the perfect lives of others. It makes us feel like we need to keep up.
Exactly. And speaking of social media, have you noticed how influencers always seem to be showing off the latest gadgets, clothes, or makeup?
All the time. Sometimes I wonder if anyone really uses all those things or if it's just for the photos.
Good question. It's easy to forget that those pictures are just a small part of someone's real life.
So, let's talk about some of the reasons why people buy unnecessary things. We've already mentioned advertising and peer pressure. What else?
I think boredom is a big one. Sometimes, if I have nothing to do, I end up browsing online stores just for fun. Before I know it, I've added things to my cart without really thinking.
That happens to me too. Or sometimes I buy things just because they're on sale. I think, wow, what a deal. But then I realize I didn't need it in the first place.
And sometimes people buy things as a reward. Like after a long week at work, it feels like a treat.
Definitely. But, let's not forget that sometimes buying unnecessary things isn't always bad. For example, a new book or a special snack can make your day better. It's all about balance.
I agree. Spending a little on things that bring you happiness is okay. The problem is when it becomes a habit or when you spend more than you can afford.
Yeah, that's when it can lead to problems like debt, stress, or even arguments with family members.
Speaking of family, I grew up in a home where my parents were very careful with money. We hardly ever bought anything that wasn't necessary. Sometimes I felt left out, but now I see the value in saving.
Interesting. My family was a bit different. My mom loved to shop, and she would buy things for everyone, even if we didn't need them. It made birthdays and holidays really exciting, but our house was always full of stuff.
That's a good example of how culture and family traditions can affect our spending. In some cultures, giving gifts is a big part of showing love and care.
Exactly. And in some countries, people are more focused on saving and being practical. For example, in Japan, minimalism is very popular. People try to live with only what they need.
That's so true. In the US, though, it's common to see big sales like Black Friday, where people line up for hours just to get the best deals, even on things they might not really need.
Yeah, I've seen videos of people running into stores and grabbing TVs or toys. It's wild. Sometimes it feels like shopping is a sport.
I know. And after the excitement, some people regret their purchases. There's even a term for that. Buyer's remorse. It means feeling sorry or guilty after buying something.
That's a great word. Buyer's remorse. I've definitely felt that before, especially after buying something expensive.
Me too. But what can we do to avoid spending too much on things we don't really need?
Good question. I found that making a shopping list and sticking to it helps a lot. If something isn't on the list, I try not to buy it.
That's smart. I also try to wait a day before buying something I want. If I still want it after 24 hours, then I'll think about buying it.
That's a great tip. Another idea is to ask yourself, will I use this in a month? In a year? If the answer is no, maybe it's not worth it.
I love that. And sometimes I look at my home and think, do I have space for one more thing? If not, I try to avoid buying it.
Yeah, clutter can be stressful. Keeping things simple can make life easier.
Absolutely. But let's not forget, sometimes it's okay to treat yourself. Life should be enjoyable, and little rewards can be motivating.
Agreed. It's all about finding the right balance between spending and saving. There's no perfect answer for everyone.
That's so true. And for our listeners, we'd love to ask you, have you ever bought something unnecessary? How did it make you feel? Let us know in the comments or by sending us a message.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your stories. And if you want a little challenge, next time you want to buy something, try waiting a day and see if you still want it. Let us know how it goes.
Now, let's talk about some key vocabulary from today's episode.
Great idea. First up, retail therapy. This means shopping to feel better when you're sad or stressed. For example, after a tough week, she went shopping for some retail therapy.
Next, buyer's remorse. This is the feeling of regret after buying something. For example, he felt buyer's remorse after spending too much on a new laptop.
Another one is peer pressure. This is when you feel pushed to do something because others are doing it. For example, peer pressure made him buy those expensive shoes.
And let's not forget clutter. Clutter means having too many things in your space. For example, her room was full of clutter after all the shopping she did.
Here's one more, minimalism. This is a lifestyle that focuses on having fewer things and only what you really need. For example, minimalism helps people feel less stressed by keeping their homes simple.
I love that word. And just a quick note, minimalism comes from minimum, meaning the least amount needed.
Nice! I hope our listeners find these words useful. Remember, practice using them in your own sentences.
And before we wrap up, let's quickly review what we talked about today.
So we explored why people today might spend too much on unnecessary things, from advertising and social media to peer pressure and boredom. We shared personal stories, discussed pros and cons, and even gave some tips on how to be a smarter shopper.
We also talked about cultural differences, like how some people value saving, while others enjoy giving gifts. And most importantly, we learned that it's okay to enjoy a little treat now and then, as long as you keep it balanced.
Exactly. So next time you reach for your wallet, just ask yourself, do I really need this? Or is it just for fun?
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our conversation and learned something new.
Don't forget to subscribe to Daily English Podcast for more episodes like this. Share your thoughts and stories with us. We love hearing from you.
Take care, everyone. Until next time, happy learning and happy saving.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.
And remember, sometimes the best things in life aren't things at all.